Hey, good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful Friday here in the Bozard Ford Studios, and we are the 904 Now, the show that's on in the morning. We have very special guests. We have two very special guests from the Old Town Trolley. So I always say the green train. You guys get me every time. The Old Town Trolley. We have Dave Chatterton and Heather the Great. I'm not sure if it's Heather Quinn the Great, or Heather the Great.
She prefers the Great.
Just going with the Great.
She's the Great one.
Yeah. The Great one. Okay.
That's what she
yes.
prefers.
Thank you.
The Great.
Yes, I thought I was co-hosting this morning. Yeah. I completely cleared my calendar.
Yeah.
You were waiting for this opportunity.
You're in the anchor seat.
That's right.
So there's going to be reeds thrown your way.
All right, I'm ready.
Did you see the panic that hit his face right then? All right, but we're going to get to that interview shortly. I got to talk about Bozard Ford. Since 1949, Bozard Ford Lincoln has been more than just a dealership. It's a local legacy built on trust, family values, and commitment to doing things right. Proudly serving St. Augustine and beyond for over 75 years, Bozard offers award-winning service, unbeatable selection, and state-of-the-art facility with 91 climate control service bays, a quick lane and for no appointment needed maintenance, and even Ford's Garage Restaurant on site. Try the Jiffy Burger. Recognized with the Triple Crown Award and President's Awards, Bozard Ford Lincoln is where hometown service meets national excellence. Great pricing, friendly faces, and better buying experience. Located at I-95 and State Road 16, Bozard Ford Lincoln. They are driven to inspire. All right, we also have some big shout-outs to Fidus Roofing, Old Town Trolley. You're going to talk to them in a little bit. Ben 39 Wine Bar, B&S Signs, Chiba Hut Toasted Subs, St. Augie's Pizza, Chris Lucero Bail Bonds, and St. Augustine Handy House. Support our wonderful sponsors and support us with likes and shares. Find us on YouTube. We have met our goal of 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for getting us there. We also are on Rumble. Those Facebook stars, they help us pay the bills. And please download our app at the Apple Store, 904, the 904 Now app. Good morning, everyone. How are you guys?
Morning.
You guys doing okay? You guys had a little scare. You thought you were going to be a little tardy.
Yes.
Yes. So that shows how prepared you were. You texted and said, we're going to be tardy, and you made it on time.
Well, I was online at Publix. I don't know if you know this, Heather. It was Troy's 45th birthday yesterday.
Yeah, 45. Add a couple in there.
So I was online. I was just about to pay for your birthday cake, and then Heather called me out of line, told me we were running late.
We got to get there.
Yes.
So,
Dave, where are you?
So no birthday cake. Sorry, Troy.
That's okay. It's all right. I had cake last night.
Oh.
Yeah, I had way too much food last night. So on your birthday you kind of overindulge a little bit. Yeah. So feeling it today.
Don't.
You're feeling it today. So, all right, we're going to do a question of the day. You guys, I know you studied for this.
I'm not a good test taker.
Yeah. Not a good test taker.
No.
I think you're going to be okay. You got a 50-50 chance, and there is no wrong answer.
Perfect.
So, the question of the day is, are you a sunrise person or are you a sunset person? Which do you prefer, a good sunrise or a good sunset? So, and Blake, we're going to let you start off and let the guests think about their amazing answers.
I definitely probably have to say I am definitely not a fan of both. Like the
Not a fan of both. But negative Nelly.
I'm sorry. You wanted me to be honest with these questions of the days. I'm being honest with you.
Okay. Wow. So which is it? Which do you prefer then? If you're not a fan of either, and I'm a fan of both.
Flip a coin.
You're a sunset. You're a sunset guy.
Sunsets because for most of the time I'm not awake when sunrise happens.
You're not.
Yeah.
You are not a morning person.
No, I'm not.
You're not a morning person at all. So Heather, what about you?
Okay, if I have to choose, I'm going to say sunrise.
Sunrise.
You cannot beat our sunrises.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, St. Augustine has some amazing stuff. And just some sunsets out at the river, too. So,
Yeah.
I'll have to say sunrise, too, for a different reason. I love being a dad.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite things, but that's the time my two apex predator children are sleeping.
They're still not there
They're
yet.
still sleeping.
They're
So
still not there.
I like sunrises for very, very different. I don't know the last time I saw a sunrise, but I'm definitely going to say sunrise is my favorite time of the day.
Moment of solitude.
Yes, me, my coffee, and the remote. Yeah, sunrise.
Yeah. So I am a sunset person. I like a sunrise. I'll tell you one of the things I like probably better than both of those is a good moonrise when it's a full moon and it's coming up over the water over the Atlantic.
A moonrise.
And I don't really see a whole lot of those, but the sunset at the rooftop of the Treasury Building.
Yeah,
as you can see so far, is absolutely beautiful. So
very romantic. I ought to change my answer.
Yeah.
My answer is now moonrise.
Yeah. So,
Blake, moonrise.
Moonrise. We'll have to do a moonrising. So, and there's a group that goes out, like paddles out for like full moonrises. That like surf group and some kayaks and stuff like that, and they just go out, hang out in the water, and do a
nice.
moonrise.
I changed my answer too. Yeah.
Everybody loves the moon. So, all right, we have to do some weather. Speaking of moonrises and that, we got to talk about the weather. Today's weather. All right, here's your official weather report. I'm leaning in being official. It's a high of 85 with a low of 72. Partly cloudy most of the day. Rain comes in on Sunday, so be prepared for it. Get those good days in today and tomorrow. So, and that weather report is brought to us by Ben 39.
Thanks for ignoring the humidity.
Yeah, what? There's no such thing. No one asks what the wind chill factor is in June. No one ever does. That heat index, is that real? All right, here we go. Ben 39, discover one of St. Augustine's best kept secrets. Ben 39, tucked inside the St. George Inn at north end of St. George Street. With over 95 boutique wines, 50 of them rated 90 points or higher by Robert Parker. It's a perfect spot for a romantic date night or relaxing after work and unwind. Ooh, that sounds like good. I hope you can watch a moonrise possibly from there. Sip by the glass or bottle in a serene courtyard setting and enjoy live music Thursday through Sunday. Open daily, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You could have been there. Just stop by and say, I'll have what Irving's having. Ben 39, your taste to discover. Have you guys enjoyed a good Ben 39?
Did you just say sip by the bottle?
Sip. I thought I said sip by the glass or bottle.
Oh, okay.
The way I do reads, I could have went that way. I'm not the best at these reads. This is why we have Amanda. Actually, you're in the anchor seat. I should slide it over.
Troy, you're doing great. Yes, very good.
Thanks. I need all the encouragement I can get. All right. It is time now for the Hit the Blakes traffic report.
Traffic.
Oh, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, surprisingly so out there today. Looks like we have a little bit of traffic coming down on southbound on I-95 today compared to northbound today. So definitely a lot of Jacksonville folks coming into town. So do be careful about that.
Is the camera in the upper left in fast speed, or because those cars look like they're cruising?
I not sure. I am not sure about that.
They look faster today for some reason.
Indeed,
Okay. I'm not playing Frogger there.
Hope Sheriff Hardwick's not watching.
Oh yeah,
He's dispatching officers right now.
Yeah, they actually have people on 95 right now. So. They got them out there. And that traffic report is brought to us by Old Town Trolley.
Oh.
Yes, indeed.
Cool.
Yes.
You want to do it, Blake?
You told me you wanted me to do the read today.
All right, I wanted to put pressure on you.
All right.
Here we go. It's all you.
All right, here we go. Climb aboard Old Town Trolley and experience over 500 years of history in the heart of St. Augustine. This fully narrated 90-minute tour features 22 convenient stops and covers more than 100 points of interest, including iconic landmarks like the Castillo de San Marco, the Fountain of Youth, and Flagler's Historic Hotel. With open-air views and all-day hop-on, hop-off access, it is the most fun and flexible way to explore the nation's oldest city. Your ticket also includes free admission to the St. Augustine History Museum, and local St. Johns County residents ride free with a full fare guest through the Hometown Pass program at hometownpass.com. Old Town Trolley, the best way to see St. Augustine one stop at a time.
There
Blake, you
Wow.
crushed it. Crushed
Yeah,
it.
right?
Great.
Yes.
That's why I had him do that. Like, I would have fumbled through it with you guys here. I would have got all nervous and fumbled through. See, he's got the protection of the booth. So,
Yeah. Sure does.
yeah. All right, we're going to do one story, and then we're going to come and we're going to find out everything there is to know about Old Town Trolley.
Heather's ready.
Wow.
Heather is ready.
Everything.
Wow.
Yeah, I know you have
Okay.
your notes, but
Well, getting nervous now.
hopefully it's everything. So, you know, and we're going to talk about the new Moonrise tour you're going to have.
We're on that.
All right, but first thing we got to talk about the city of St. Augustine. There's a scam alert out there, and it's claiming unpaid permits. So residents, just be aware. In St. Augustine, being warned, there's a new scam involving fake letters demanding payment of unpaid permits. So if you have this come through from the city, you make sure you call before you just pay online. City officials say the letters, which appear officially, falsely claim residents owe money for permit fees. However, the city of St. Augustine confirms it does not issue these letters and it never requests money transfers for permit fees. So if it's saying that, it's a red flag right away. Authorities urge residents to be alert. Red flags include unfamiliar contact details or urgent demands for immediate payment. The city recommends that anyone who receives suspicious letters verify it directly by contacting the city and through the trusted channels. So, and it believes you've been targeted or scammed. If you believe you've been targeted or scammed, and please call the city of St. Augustine Police Department right away so they can kind of help with this process because it is an ongoing investigation, you know, in the city. And I don't understand why people do this.
Scoundrels.
Yeah.
Scoundrels.
You know, I mean, they spend so much time breaking the law. They can do so many good things and still make money doing the right thing. I mean, if you're going that far into it, it's easier to get a job.
It's easier to get a job.
You can just get a job and do something right. You know. All right. We have in studio with us, and you guys have to give your official titles because I don't think the great is your official title. Heather.
Actually,
It is now.
Well, yeah. Actually, I was going to tell.
Yeah.
Show me your business card.
So Heather, what is your official title with Old Town?
I'm the entertainment manager.
Entertainment.
So
manager.
yeah, I get to all the fun stuff.
Oh, that sounds like a great. And Dave, besides being the head honcho, master of all beings, what is your official title?
No one's calling me head honcho. General manager.
General manager, the GM, the GM. You are the gem.
Servant to many.
Yes. So but Old Town Trolley has been involved in our show since like the very beginning when we started on the radio. You guys were there for us, so we really appreciate you guys
Oh, thank you for
being
that,
with
too.
us and keeping us, getting the information out to the locals. A lot of times people don't realize what you guys give back to the community, but I want to make sure I got to say thank you at the very beginning of this interview, what you've done for Home Again and what you've done for so many other charities. So I'm going to say thank you up front instead of at the back end because sometimes I get lost in these reads and I'll forget to say that. So,
Well, thank you.
But Dave, you and I have been friends and worked together on a lot of projects. What is one of the main missions of the Old Town Trolley that a lot of people don't realize with the public and how you guys run your business?
Well, one of the things that I enjoy the most now is handling a lot of the philanthropical, causes on behalf of Historic Tours of America. You mentioned Home Again, St. John's. Our biggest partner in the community is the St. Johns County school system.
Mhm.
So I think we're going to talk a little bit about one of the bigger fundraisers that we do with them in just a few minutes, which is the jailbreak, 5K. One of the other events that we do, which is really near and dear to my heart, is on Veterans Day, all across the country. We donate $1 from every ticket sold, and we use that money collectively to purchase service dogs, puppies.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, and then we that money goes to pay to have those dogs trained,
Mhm.
and then ultimately delivered into the hands of veterans in need. So that's another really great thing that we do.
And that's great. And you guys, and I don't think a lot of people realize this, that you're much larger than what's here in St. Augustine. How many cities is your company actually involved in? Because you go to these other cities, you're like, hey, that looks like one of our trains.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So how many cities are you guys actually?
So we're
involved
in 9 cities now.
Okay.
9 cities, and I remember when I first started with Historic Tours of America, St. Augustine was their newest city,
Mhm.
and since then we've expanded into Charleston, San Antonio, Texas, and Nashville.
So Nashville, those are the three newer ones.
Those are the
Yep.
3 newer ones.
I
Mhm.
know you're in Boston. I've
Boston,
and
Washington.
in DC,
San Diego,
Savannah,
Savannah, Key
Key,
West.
Key
Mhm.
West, yeah. So San Diego's the
Mm.
one I didn't. So not New Orleans. So for some reason I was thinking you guys were in New Orleans too, but you're not in New Orleans.
No, we're not in New Orleans.
Okay. But I've enjoyed several of your activities in Key West and in DC and in Boston and here, and Savannah. But the training you guys do corporate wide is so great.
Yeah.
How do you guys make that? Because you guys, how many employees do you have here locally in St. Augustine?
Right now, approximately 250, not counting our corporate headquarters. We operate a corporate headquarters here in St. Augustine as well. During nights of lights, it may fluctuate to over 200.
Yeah, one of the things that really kind of stands out, and I've spoken in front of your group a couple of different times, is how welcoming your entire staff is to people coming. I've brought groups with you and stuff like that, and it's great here. It's great every single place. But how do you guys keep that motivation and that uplift when you're reaching out to people?
Well, first of all, I think I need to correct myself. I said 150. It's closer to 250. It's 250, and then 300.
Or Nights of Lights.
Yeah, just heard
Mhm.
myself say that, but Heather's probably be the best person to answer that question.
Yeah, for us, the most important thing that we do really is to make sure our cast members are out there, giving our guests, the best experience possible, making those, those memories. So it really starts with, who we hire. We want to hire the best people out there, the nicest people. You can't train nice. So we want to make sure that when we bring people to Old Town Trolley, that they are generally nice people. And it's just our culture that we have. We're just, out there, making those memories, for our guests.
Yeah. Now, Dave talked about an upcoming event, the Jailbreak.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the Jailbreak and how we can help get that word out. I mean, we have you guys on there. We'll put it in our comments leading up to that for sure. So people, and we'll add the link in so people can just click on it, make it as easy as possible. But tell us about the Jailbreak. Where does that money go, and how
The
did it get
Jailbreak
started?
5K is one of our most exciting events that we do, and we do this in partnership with Inc. Investing in Kids. It's the main fundraiser, so all the money goes to that foundation. And it's the most fun 5K that you're ever going to have. It's a themed race where the runners are inmates at the old jail. And our Deputy Otis, is tired of them trying to escape. So he gives them a 10-minute head start, and then he chases them throughout the course. And it's just very exciting. It's a costume contest with cash prizes. We have live music throughout. We have race enhancements. We have cheerleaders throughout, and at the very end of the race, we have a celebration there, a party with what inmates, what runners will love to have to eat afterwards is a slop, so of beans, of grits, and hardtack that our prisoners are going to give to them. So it's just a fun event. And this year it's going to be October 25th, and tickets are already on sale on sale now for that.
Oh wow, October 25th.
Yes.
Fast.
So, yeah. So we're as we get closer, we're definitely gonna put that in and make sure we have it and push that out. So the relationship with Inc. How far back does that go? I mean, Inc. You guys and Inc. It seems like you've been partners for a long time. So
Maybe 10, 15 years. And I can't tell you, working so closely with you enough, just how passionate, this group of people, how passionate they are. And they are just absolutely wonderful stewards of the sponsorship, dollars that we give them, making sure that they get to the, to the right people. So they're very near and dear to my heart. I think I've shared this with you. I grew up in Hackensack, New Jersey, which is a very underserved area. And going to school, we would get those lists of supplies like the kids still do, now, and of course I would show up to school with absolutely nothing, but I always had everything that I needed. I had no idea, of course, at the time that there was this hardworking, severely underpaid, teacher that was reaching into his or her pocket, making sure that myself and all the other kids that didn't have the money had what they needed. So this is where that money really goes to a large, amount of that money goes right into the classrooms. I mean, they're the primary support foundation for in-school activities, and I couldn't be more prouder to work with them.
no, they do an absolute amazing job, and I think you and I have talked about this. And there was one Christmas I grew up in DeLand on a pig farm, beautiful pig farm.
That sounds nice.
Most beautiful pig farm. Yeah, whatever you're imagining, it's worse.
Can't even imagine those moon sets on the pig farm.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of those there in DeLand. But we very similar situation. One Christmas I got paper for Christmas, and I thought Santa was mad at me, and I felt so horrible. I remember making my mom cry. But it's groups like Inc. that helps out people like that kind of make sure all those supplies are there. It takes a little of that pain off of those teachers that we all know aren't making a lot of money. It's a job. It's a job because you love it, not a job because you thought you were going to be, wearing diamonds around your neck. I mean, it's definitely a passionate job. But groups like Inc. are the ones that kind of help those kids and help those teachers just give that little extra boost. And that's why we're one of the top groups like Inc.'s the reason why we're one of the top.
I was going to say that with everything you just said, I mean, we still, maintain one of the best school districts, in the state. And I think people really, when they when they think about the St. Johns County schools, they think about and define success with test scores. But oh my goodness, I had an opportunity to go into some of these, these schools, and I just wish parents could see the same thing that I got to see. To look behind that curtain, just to see, just these amazing opportunities that these kids have, and you can just walk around the school and just see the relationship that the students have with the with the teachers. I mean, it's really something something special, and of course, as we all know, it's a huge economic driver too for St. Johns County. It's one of the reasons Historic Tours of America has chosen St. Johns County to put its corporate headquarters. It's just because, again, just the wonderful people that the county attracts, family people to St. Johns County because of the schools.
And Dave, I want to get a little more personal into where you're at. You gave us a little bit. When I first met you, I think you were a horse and carriage guy.
Yeah, from Hackensack, New Jersey. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, you're a horse and carriage guy, and then you went with Old Town Trolleys, right? Was there a transition in between there, or so kind of explain how you got to St. Augustine and how you ended up, being the GM of one of the best companies in the entire city.
Well, I tell you, I moved here from Hackensack, New Jersey. And got here to St. Augustine. And like most people, I hear people say this all the time, they had no idea that St. Augustine was here. From a history perspective, we learned it from the British point of view. So maybe St. Augustine might have been mentioned in the in the classroom, but I don't recall it. So I remember getting here, and I just remember walking around that first morning, seeing this giant stone fort and the bayfront and the sailboats. Wasn't too long, a couple of weeks here. I mean, I just began to fall in love with the community. I got into tourism and hospitality, and I just never looked back. I mean, it's such rewarding industry. I mean, I can't think of another industry where you get that deep appreciation so quickly from the people that you're serving.
You get an instant gratification.
Instant gratification, yeah. And it's really helped to shape me, who I am today. I think it's made me a better father. It's along the way, it's helped me to shape me to be a better leader, working with a very diverse group of people. And what I mean by that, we have people who have moved here from all over the country. People with all different kinds of point of view. And one thing I've learned, in tourism and hospitality, people are people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care where you are. We all think we're so different. We're not. We're all very, very similar. So working with a very broad group of people, for a collective effort, right, which is to us, we become we get to take up a part and be in a very important time in our guests' lives, which is this family vacation. So we call ourselves cast members, just to remind us of our role in the guest's day, where they're supporting characters. So what a great job to be able to kind of be there, waiting for these opportunities to help make our guest's day, better. You can come to work with a bad attitude. You're not going to keep that for very long. I mean, you are surrounded by people that are just very happy.
Everybody's
on vacation, right?
Yeah. And that's what I've always felt when I've come on any of your locations, and I've helped out with some of the stuff that you guys do and your appreciation party and some of those things. And it's always been like your entire staff has just been like, oh yeah, we got you. Whatever the problem is they got it. Well, what we got to do right now is Blake's going to have to do the Gas Buddy gas report, and tell us in the comments if you see anything out there different. Blake, you got that gas report?
Yes.
Oh,
I do have the gas report ready to go.
Okay, because it's not on my iPad, so that's why I had to throw it to you.
I understand that. So right now, our leaderboard for today on the Gas by Gas report is the gate at Mizell Road is at 273. The Circle K on 207 is at 276. The gate on US 1 is 286. The Circle K also on US 1 is 289. Shell on 216 Ponce de Leon Boulevard is 299. The Sunoco at 450 Ponce de Leon Boulevard is 299. The Mobile and Circle K combo is 299. The Owens at 780 South Ponce is also 299. Shell on 146 King, that's 299. And the Sunoco at 2199 North Ponce de Leon Boulevard is at 304, and that is their cash price. And that is brought to you by Chris Lucero Bail Bonds. Trouble with the law called his name, St. Augustine has trusted for years. Chris Lucero Bail Bonds. Available 24/7. Their experienced and compassionate team works fast to get you or your loved one out of jail and back home. From paperwork to release, they make the process simple, discreet, and stress-free. No judgment, just help when you need it the most. When time matters, remember the name and the number Chris Lucero Bail Bonds at 904-822-BAIL. That's 904-822-2245.
All right, and I'm going to give you guys the live music today, and actually we're going to start at 6 o'clock because there's so many people always say, oh, there's nothing to do in St. Augustine. Wait till you hear this list. It is from visit staugustine.com, and we're going to start at 6 o'clock because all the other ones, it would be going on forever, and you wouldn't have time to go get my cake. All right, we're going to start with the House Cats. It's Shayla Moore at 6 o'clock. Ian Opolinski at Krabby's Beachside. Also, these are all going to be at 6 o'clock. Joshua Tennessee Worthy at DJ's Clam Shack. Claire Van Diver at Hilton. I know that place. Hilton St. Augustine Historic Bayfront. Kurt Lantham at Mellow Mushroom Anastasia Island. Eddie Pickett at Mellow Mushroom St. John's. Jesse Croach at Mellow Mushroom St. John's. Jolie at Michael's at 6 o'clock. Jim Lamb at Oasis Deck and Restaurant. Shayla Macalusa. Sorry, Shayla, I just totally slaughtered your name. At Harry's Seafood Bar and Grill, Space Heaters at Pesca Milano. Bad Dog Mama. These are still 6 o'clock. Bad Dog Mama at Prohibition Kitchen. Claremont Duo at Prohibition Kitchen at 6 o'clock. Colin Costco at Salt Life Food Shack. Zaza Flamenca at St. George Restaurant at 6:30. New Guys on the Dock at O.C. White's. Virginia Suite at the Colonial Oak. Sean Ryan at Meehan's. These are at 7 o'clock now. Fortune Child at Mellow Mushroom. Mellow Mushroom's got a lot of music going on. Teal Cabana Club Band at Spencer's Abbott at 7 o'clock. Billy Currington. All right, so you know there's traffic at the amp. And Kip Moore at the amp there. Boogie Freaks at Arnold's. This is a new one. Selwyn Birchwood?
Selwyn Birchwood.
Oh, it's at Cafe 11, so that's a pretty big one. Matt Wilson at Cortez's. John Q at Milltop Tavern. Cottonmouth at Traywin's. Medella Music at Prohibition Kitchen at 10 o'clock. Whew, and we started at 6.
Yeah.
You know, there's music starts as early as noon, and it would have been twice as long there.
Now, listen, you were a little apologetic with some of those names, but I want to defend you there. Some of those names were tough. They're tough.
This is why this one always goes to Amanda.
Yeah.
I take all the easy jobs.
That's right.
All right, and that music report was brought to us by Fidus Roofing. When it comes to protecting your home, trust Fidus Roofing and Construction. Voted Best of St. Augustine every year since 2012. As a GAF Master Elite Contractor, Fidus installs GAF Lifetime Roofing Systems and expert metal roofs built to withstand Florida's toughest weather. From emergency repairs to full replacements. Plus, they do pavers and gutters. Fidus delivers quality, durable, and energy savings with every job. For Fidus Roofing, give them a call at 904-355-ROOF. That's 904-355-7663, where trust is built from the top down. All right. And it is back to you guys now. We're not going to do story 2 because you guys are the story. Heather, we've kind of we've let you off the hook a little bit on this, so now we're going to come to you. Okay. So how did you find your way to the Old Town Trolley cast? Mm-hmm. And you know, you've been there a little bit now. So
well, I just celebrated my 4-year trolleyversary.
Trolleyversary.
Yes, we call them trolleyversaries.
I love that.
I think I coined that when I came up.
Yeah. So how did you come to be, you know, a trolley person?
So I came from Orlando, where I worked at Walt Disney World for about 20 years. And absolutely loved it. Again, being in the tourism and hospitality industry for such a long time, you just have to love it. And I really did. I worked at big attractions at the Magic Kingdom and in Epcot as an operations, a guest service manager. And I've just always loved St. Augustine. I would come here with my family. I remember going to the old jail with my dad, years ago. And it was always like my happy place. So I just knew that someday, somehow, I was going to be here. And I remember riding the trolley. And so I just made a decision. It was like a now or never. If I don't do it, I'm never going to do it. And I decided to move here. And I didn't start with Dave and Old Town Trolley right away. I actually started working with Will Hensler at Citygate Spirits. Okay. So, which was great. He gave my first job here. And then I saw that there was a job fair at the Lightner Museum that I knew Old Town Trolley was going to be at. And Will knew that I wanted to work for that company. So he let me, I'll never forget this, he let me leave early and then head to the Lightner, where I met Jennifer and Kathy from Leadagers on the team, gave them my resume. And next thing I know, I'm in an interview with Dave. And I was hired.
And it's been 4 years.
And it's been 4 years. And I just absolutely Love it.
So your trolliversary.
My trolleyversary, yes.
Well, we're very happy you're here, and been able to do some things with you when I come and speak, and you kind of are the one leading, getting all the strings pulled and stuff like that. What is one of the things that you've been there for 4 years now? What is one of the things that makes you proud that you're an employee of Old Town Trolley?
Oh my gosh. One thing that I'm proud of really is what we do for our guests that come here, really sharing, the history of St. Augustine, the history, of America, as we call ourselves, the nation's storyteller, is really being that person out there, and just making sure, again, that we are giving our guests, the best time to take things back. So what we want to do really is educate while we entertain. And we do it in a sneaky way that when our guests go on our trolleys, when our guests go to our museums, you know what? They're learning something, right? They may not remember everything, but they're going to take a piece away and start that conversation going and wanting to learn more. And I love just being a part of that.
And that's where we kind of have to, we have a thing we call laugh and learn with our shows,
Right.
So hopefully you're laughing with us and you're learning at the same time. And I think you guys do a really good job with that, of keeping people engaged and stuff like that. Dave, and I'm going to ask a question. I don't know
Sure.
what the history is behind this, but I've always wanted to know, how did Old Town Trolley Historic Tours end up with the old jail? Like, how did that come to be a marriage together? And because that's kind of like one of your home bases of the jump off points and stuff like that. And I don't know where you guys would be without that property, and how did, because it was an active jail, up until like 60 years ago or 50 years ago. How did you guys end up with that asset? Because to me, it's like just really kind of gives you that good home base.
Well, that's a really great story, and probably not the best one to tell it. But you'd have to go all the way back to a guy named Slim McDaniel.
Great name already.
Slim McDaniel, and he people knew him as his nickname was by some the P.T. Barnum of St. Augustine.
Okay.
And he had owned the jail, and started the trolley company to bring people to the attraction, and then that's where the story gets really fun, interesting. And there's several books on it. I know we've captured the story of Slim Jackson. Oh no, sorry, Slim McDaniel. Yeah, Slim McDaniel, in a book that we sell, but it's a fascinating story. So when Historic Tours of America bought the trolley, it was also owned by a guy named Melvin Bear at that time, who owned the jail. So it was kind of, we bought the trolley, we got the jail, that property.
So that's how it. What was the time frame of that?
Gosh, 23 years ago.
Okay.
I've been with the company 21 years now.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's just in the 2000s, because I was like, gosh, this is really just a perfect hub
Yeah.
for what you guys do. And I was like, what would they do if they? You have other, obviously, stops and pickups and stuff like that, but it was like, it's just like the perfect home for you guys. And
Going back to that story, it really is a great story. There was a guy who had worked here. I can't remember his name. I was trying to remember his name. He'd worked for Slim McDaniel at the time, and eventually he moved to Hollywood and became a fairly famous producer. And he actually produced several episodes of remember the show The A-Team?
oh yeah,
Yeah, and he actually, based a story on Slim McDaniel and back at the time, the train, the trolley wars. It's a really fascinating story.
oh wow, that's super fun, super fun. All right, we have a question online about pricing. Blake, did you see that question?
Yeah, it was from Bobby. I can find it right here. It's his question was how and what is the pricing for riding the trolleys nowadays?
I think it's $36.99. That sounds funny. So we definitely try to price the trolley a little bit cheaper when we're slower, for sure, to give people, a break. But if you're listening, this might be a good opportunity to mention, because a lot of people don't know this. So during the month of September, before you buy your trolley ticket, we do something every year called Locals Month. So you would go to residentpass.com, and when you go to that web page, if you live in St. Johns County, you can request a resident pass. When you get that resident pass, it's good for up to 4 people during the month of September. And you bring that pass to any one of our ticketing locations, and you can trade that pass in for 2 of the 4 experiences that we offer here in St. Augustine, which is the Old Town Trolley, the Old Jail, the Oldest Store Museum experience, and Potter's Wax Museum.
Yeah.
So
I heard Taylor's coming. Is that true?
Taylor Swift is coming. Yes, Taylor Swift. My daughter's going to be very excited.
Yeah, I heard
to come see Taylor
that's,
Swift.
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. I heard Taylor Swift is coming to Potter's. When is that supposed to?
I think next month.
Next month?
Yeah, next month.
Quick? Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her head arrived.
Oh.
So we're waiting for her body to get here. But anyway,
let's not take pictures of
that's
that.
a whole
It's a story.
That's a whole. Yeah, that's a whole
We'll have
story.
Swifties all over us if we do that. Let's not do that. So, but that happens next month. So that's a big deal too.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get you to share that too, because there's we've been doing it forever. But there's been so many new people moving into the county.
Yeah.
To be able to share that
maybe
with
you and I can do like a live walkthrough or something.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Or
Yeah.
Night of
Oh,
Horror
yeah.
do its own episode, and because I have a 5-year-old that's going to want to be there as soon as Taylor is ready to see. So your daughter, or my daughter is going to be like, yeah.
And and a lot of people, they do these things and they go, it sounds very touristy, or I've done that, before. I am telling you, not because I run the trolleys. There is something about being on an open air trolley in St. Augustine, eye level, with people walking on, St. George Street, on Hippolyta Street. There's something really special about coming down the bayfront again in an open air trolley, taking in that sea breeze, the sailboats, the occasional dolphin or manatee, out in the water. I mean, it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
To be on one of those open air trolleys. So I do hope our St. Johns County residents will come take advantage of that. And then, Heather can talk maybe a little bit more about the attractions, the jail and the store.
Yeah, those are the 2 attractions that I lead the team at. And the Old Jail, incredible, right? All the guests love to go to the Old Jail. Every 15 minutes, either a prisoner trustee or a sheriff's deputy will show the guest their new home, right? It's a processing. So they'll take the guest into the jail. We really try to create this, 1908 thematic experience where, again, we're having fun, but we're learning something. We're learning history about the jail. And the Oldest Store Museum experience really is a hidden gem. I hear this all the time, that the Oldest Store is the guest's favorite attraction of all the attractions that we offer, and they love it. They step into C.F. Hamlin's hardware store, and they're taken back in time by one of the shopkeepers, showing the latest and greatest inventions of the late 1800s, early 1900s. Like a goat-powered treadmill, or a gigantic coffee grinder, the noiseless milkshake maker. It is just so much fun. It really is like a must-see experience.
Yeah. No, you guys have some really cool, and the thing, like I said, to me, even going through there, the cast is knowledgeable. They understand what's going on, and they kind of talk you through the Old Jail experiences. I mean, it's creepy at times.
Well, it's fun too.
It's fun.
It's creepy. You're right. I don't separate from that. Sounds argumentative. No, it's not creepy. I mean,
but no, that's what makes it fun. It has that, you can get in there and go, okay, these windows didn't close. These guys lived in this, and women, and then the family lived below. I mean, I think that's a lot of people don't realize that the family, the sheriff's family, lived there in the Old Jail.
So what Heather and her team do, we talked about that transportainment education, educating while entertaining. So what Heather and her team does every 15 to 20 minutes, we we welcome a new group of prisoners. I mean guests.
Yeah.
Right. And then her prisoner trustees or sheriff deputies, their job is to settle the new inmates in. So as we're walking you around the jail, kind of showing you the ropes, what life's now going to be like, for you. I mean, it's a very immersive experience. And as you're aware, I mean, we operate some very popular attractions all across the country, everything from the Boston Tea Party Ships and Museum, the Key West Aquarium, I mean, Harry Truman's little White House. I will tell you that the old jail is one of the most visited attractions that we operate in from a guest satisfaction standpoint. Mm-hmm. I mean, it just really does check all those boxes. It's absolutely fantastic. So again, I'm saying all this to really encourage our locals to come in and and sightsee in their own backyard.
No, it's amazing. It's a great experience. We did it with Project Autism for years when we did our trick or treat at
it was great. Yeah,
the old jail and we got to go through there quite a bit. But Blake and I also did the Boston Tea Party.
Yeah, great.
Absolutely amazing. What they were able to do there.
And Heather said it earlier, and just to kind of stamp that, what we do unapologetically is we share the more inspirational, more positive aspects of our country's history. Again, it's to get people excited about learning about our country's history. And we're very proud to be able to tell some of these these important stories.
No, absolutely amazing job, Heather. Is there something we left off because we were kind of coming to the end, and I want to make sure we hit all the points you guys wanted to hit. And
well, there was one thing. Can we go back to the jailbreak 5K?
Sure.
Because I cannot believe I forgot about this. That every single runner gets a finisher's medal. Okay. And a T-shirt, and everyone is gonna want the medal because every year we just kind of one up ourselves, and this year's medal is gonna be pretty exciting. We always theme it, to the jail. Okay. So, and I do believe that there's gonna be a medal reveal sometime in July.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, let us know how we can help with that medal reveal.
Yes.
Because we would love to.
Yes.
We're very revealing.
Well, I tell you, we learned a long time ago, didn't we, Heather? For people will literally decide whether or not they want to participate in your race if they like your T-shirt and medal.
Yeah.
So we have absolutely spared no expense on the T-shirt and medal, and not to mention if you've ran in that race before. I mean, you do it every year because, and usually you bring some friends back with you because we're expecting 1,000 plus runners again this year.
Yep.
And it really is the most entertaining fun race in St. Augustine. And again, all the proceeds go to the St. Johns County school system. Hey, do we have time real quick to talk about St. Johns County's autism initiative?
Yes, please do that.
Yeah. And then do you want to talk about it a little bit?
Oh, sure. Yes. So we just renewed our autism certification for the second year. And this is something that I can definitely say that we're all so proud of. All of our cast members, all of our frontline cast members go through this autism certification process really to make us more inclusive, best practices, so we can really welcome everybody to Old Town Trolley. All of our attractions have sensory guidelines in front of each show scene, so which shows, what's the taste, sight, touch, smell, rating. So our guests can look at that to know before they go inside. And this really has been beneficial to our cast members and the guests that have come.
You mentioned, earlier just how, and Heather talked a little bit about, when we hire our cast, the first thing that we do before we even look, at your, your application, what you've done, what you can do, the first qualifier for us is whether or not during, we're having a conversation with you, we believe that the person sitting in front of us is a nice person, because as Heather said, we've learned after all these years, you just can't train nice. Yeah. You're nice here. So, but it's really taken this amazing Kath, and it's even helped us to be even more compassionate, more understanding, and it's really tooled us up, as Heather said, to be more inclusive, more welcoming for this, this very
there's parents,
underserved population.
As an autism parent, I mean, there's parents out there that really have a tough time taking their. I mean, we took our boys everywhere, and like you didn't like it. Hey, tough. That's on you. It's not on me. But it gives people and parents the confidence. Even when we used to do the Project Autism, like the tours where it was 100% all autistic kids, the parents loved it, and a lot of them came back because their children loved it. So it's like once you lock into something with an autistic kid, you have them, and this for you guys to do this is great as a company. Our company is doing some hotels with the autism certification. This is a county-wide initiative, and you guys were kind of the leaders on that. And I think you guys should be commended because you were ahead of the game. Before a lot of other groups even joined in.
Well, Isabella Renault from the Chamber of Commerce and Susan from the Visitor and Convention Bureau and as you said the county. I mean they've been amazing, very inspiring with this. And of course the reason I wanted to bring this up is because we are so close. I'm not sure how many more hotels and how many more attractions that we need, but we are very, very close to becoming the first county in the state of Florida to be an autism certified destination. So we're really trying to help, and thanks for giving us the platform to help us kind of get over that hump there. So really we're hoping some other attractions, and it's great that the Jalaram hotels are
I
getting
think our
certified.
3 hotels, I think we're still short on some restaurants.
Yeah.
I think there's some restaurants out there. So if you're a restaurant out there and you want to get your certification, please do so. And part of the training is there's a grant
Yes,
that's there that can help if you're a business that you're on the teetering on it. But there's a grant from the chamber, so check with the chamber on how those reimbursements work. So that kind of encourage those smaller companies to come into it.
Yeah, and and of course we want to do this, as Heather said, to be inclusive for everybody. But there is again another less like to talk about, but important to mention. I mean, there's a financial reason for doing this. Too, as you've mentioned, families who are touched by autism, have a family member in autism, they want to know that you're a safe and welcoming place. I mean, this is a very, very large market of people.
Yeah, they are going to come to you. I mean, they're going to come to that destination above one that's not, and that's as an autism parent. I mean, that's like, okay, we know we're welcome there. We know they know how to manage it and handle those things. So it's definitely a benefit to be a part of that, to bring in a whole group. I mean, we're down to like 1 in 44 children right now that are affected by autism. So it's definitely a national need. So all right, we gotta go through. Blake, do you want to go through the comments and I do these reads, and then we'll say our goodbyes after that?
All right, yeah, sure. Let's see. On this Friday, I will fastidiously go through the fans' frivolous or serious comments. I couldn't find Bobby's.
You couldn't find Bobby's?
Yeah,
all right.
so.
All right. While you're going through those comments, I'm going to tell you about this amazing group, B&S Signs. Want your business to get noticed and stay that way? Turn to B&S Signs, proudly family-owned and serving St. Augustine for over 50 years. From bold vinyl lettering to towering pylon signs, they specialize in high-quality custom signage built to last. Their expert team handles everything: design, installation, crane service, repairs, and maintenance with fast, responsive service that keeps your signs looking sharp. Make a lasting impression with B&S Signs. Visit bnssigns.com, because when it comes to signs, they do it all. Great guys over there. They do an amazing job, and they'll help you design whatever you want to do with that. All right. Also, another one, and this is what I love about our group of sponsors. A lot of family-owned companies in here, and this is another one. St. Augustine Handy House. Need a custom or prefab portable building that's built to last. Come to St. Augustine Handy House, proudly owned by Troy Usina Enterprise, the good Troy, and serving the community since 1988. With over 70 structures in stock, from sheds and barns to carports and offices, you'll find the perfect fit for your needs. Every building comes with free delivery, leveling, and anchoring, plus easy financing options to fit your budget. Visit them out on State Road 16, Monday through Saturday, or call 904-823-9092. St. Augustine Handy House, where quality meets convenience. Thank you, Troy. Appreciate your support. Blake, what you got in the comments, man?
All right, so there's no Tim today. So it's unfortunately no Wawa or Costco gas report out there today. Kenny says Amanda and Tim must be on the road checking gas prices, though. Okay. Sunsets was the most popular answer between the two, but they want to see a moonrise now.
Yeah.
Bobby says, being up from the north, they probably taught you more about Jamestown rather than St. Augustine.
Yeah.
Diane asks, who remembers Hands Across America in 1986? Bobby walks 5Ks. He will get, and he will often get caught early.
Yeah. On the jailbreak, he gets caught. He's one of the first ones getting caught.
Me too.
Yeah. I'm with you,
Me
Bobby.
too.
I'm with you, Bobby.
Maybe my 12-minute mile.
Yeah.
And then Rebecca says if Troy misbehaves, his punishment is doing the reads.
Doing the reads, yeah. I'm dyslexic, so they make fun of me doing my reads.
Oh,
so that's not very nice, is it?
No.
not very nice.
Not very nice. But if you give it, you got to take it. So and I definitely give it. All right. Thank you guys again. But we're gonna get to the Stoidem stat on this day in history. Our Stoidem stat today is in 1844. This is when Joseph Smith, he was in jail in Carthage, Illinois, and a mob came in and took out Joseph, the founder of the Mormon Church. Took out and murdered him and his brother they took him out of the jail cell and murdered him. He was running for president in 1888, and in some states at that time, it was legal to kill Mormons. So that was part of the reason why Brigham Young had to take his group to Utah, and he got them to Utah, 148 of them on that first pilgrimage, and they stopped at Salt Lake City, and this is where he said this is where it's going to be. And we all know the history behind that at that point. But Brigham Young, 3 years after Joseph Smith was murdered by the mob, him and his brother were murdered by the mob, Brigham Young took and created the Church of Latter-day Saints. Did I say that right, LD? I'm not very good at that. But that's how they got to Utah, is because of these actions that happened on this day. So
way to end the segment on a high note.
Yeah. Well, it's a happy ending because
it's a happy ending.
Happy ending. I mean, because they found their own piece of the world that they control, and I don't think
they've done very well.
I don't think this was the end.
They've done very well.
I don't think this was the end of the Church of Latter-day Saints. I think this was the beginning. So beginnings are good.
Yeah.
So even though it was a sad ending, Christianity, there's a sad ending there too. So
true.
True.
You got me.
But it is the beginning. So sometimes the end seems, and it starts the beginning.
You want to talk about that ridiculous amount of Chick-fil-A mints there?
These.
I mean, the amount of times you go to. I would tell them to hold the mints.
Let me tell you this.
Hold the mints.
I am a signature member. If you don't know what that means at Chick-fil-A, that means I eat at Chick-fil-A a lot.
Yes.
Yep. And
do you want to show off how many lifetime points you have?
I have.
Oh, wow.
I have over I think I have over 300,000 lifetime points at Chick-fil-A.
Oh,
wow.
So I just so you understand it.
I just figured every mint was a visit.
Yeah, I think these go back to when Chick-fil-A was in the mall.
Okay. Yeah.
So no, but we get a lot of them, and the mints, you never know when you need a mint.
Never.
You just never know when you need a mint. So, well, thank you guys so much for coming in. We're going to have you guys back in again for the jail run, because that's in October. We'll have you back in, and I would love to possibly do a walkthrough with Taylor Swift.
Love it.
with you,
yes. if we can make that happen next month. So
sounds great, and I get to put on my resume now, co-host the 904 Now.
Anchor.
Yes.
Anchor, co-anchor. Yes.
Co-anchor.
Thank you.
Co-anchor. All right. Thank you guys. Blake, you have any shout outs you need to do?
No plugs. We need to go.
Yep, we got to do our 2 cents at 9:04. All right. We appreciate you guys. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.